Here's what we're talking about in our lineup today. Here on the Now, a new type of therapy is helping kids with autism connect with themselves and others, how it's also physically changing their brains. And female veterans face unique challenges that men often don't related to their service, how a board game is starting the conversation and pushing for change. And more businesses want to make sure their employees are well rested. We're looking at the possible benefits of sleep tracking and what you should know before you opt in.
Thank you, Chris. I'm Amanda Starantino, and you're watching the Now Indy. Prepare for changes when it comes to parking in downtown Noblesville. A new ordinance will take effect tomorrow. Downtown parking will be separated into 3 locations: paid parking lots, free on-street spaces, and 2 consecutive hours of free parking per day. The 2-hour spots are around the downtown square and 1 block away in each direction. Parking in the free 2-hour spots is for 2 consecutive hours per day, not per space. 20-minute parking spaces have also been added on Logan, Connor, and 9th Street. Staying over your time puts you at risk of receiving a $20 ticket. First-time offenders will get a warning and information on the new parking rules. Drivers we talked to say it's tough to find spots downtown and changes are needed.
It's terrible. You can't park but for 2 hours. A lot of times you can't find a spot. They say, well, go to paid parking. Well, you can't find a spot in paid parking.
New parking kiosks have also been added that replace outdated meters. The new parking strategy is part of a 1-year pilot program in order to study the impact of these changes. And many people are choosing to mark the Martin Luther King holiday by being of service to others, as Dr. King advocated. That includes the students, faculty, and staff of the University of Indianapolis. They devoted several hours today to working to pack away hunger. Hundreds of UIndy volunteers made, packaged, and boxed more than 50,000 meals for the hungry in central Indiana.
To me, this is uniquely Indianapolis, right? Coming together to engage an issue that exists in our society and to be together on that. And so it's both proud and kind of warm. I feel proud and warm to have my community come together to be able to serve this at this moment in time.
I just think it's really important that we get so many opportunities through the university that we give back, and the motto is education for service. So just having that opportunity to, even though it's a day off for us, it doesn't mean we just get to be selfish with it.
This is the 5th year UIndy has taken part, and each year they get more people who want to get involved and help out. Now here's a live look outside at DePaul University in Greencastle, and some cloudy skies out there, Kevin.
We saw the sunshine at least for a while today. That boosts the spirits just a little bit. Let's talk about maybe a flurry or 2 within the clouds. We'll bring up the radar here first. The more substantial snow showers or flurries to the north, but with the air so cold, just squeezes out any last little bit of moisture. Temperature 27. That's nice progress. Yesterday at this time we were at 13, 14 degrees. We spent most of the day between 12 and 14. At least today we've made our move into the 20s. Marion's at 25, 26 down in Bloomington. What's ahead this evening? Partly to mostly cloudy, still cold. Temperatures, because of the clouds that we have, will be slow to change by the time we get to 10 o'clock. 22 degrees with that light north wind. Another cold night. Other nights this week will all be warmer than this. So in other words, this is the coldest night we'll have for the rest of the 7-day forecast. Plan on temperatures in the upper teens, but dry for your drive to work tomorrow morning.
Thousands of people near the state capitol in Virginia today rallying against proposed gun control laws. The state's governor declared a state emergency ahead of the event after threats of potential violence. Virginia lawmakers are discussing legislation surrounding universal background checks, along with other changes like a ban on military-style rifles. The proposed bills come after a mass shooting in Virginia Beach last May when 12 people were shot and killed. Now, let's face it, guns are a hotly debated topic in America, and experts say there may be a public misconception about new laws that are aiming to protect people from gun violence.
The opinions of owners on policies are generally not that different from the opinions of non-owners, which might go against what people might just generally think.
Rocco Palin is part of the UC Davis Violence Prevention Research Program. She's been studying opinions from gun owners, but also non-gun owners. Ideas like, should someone with multiple DUIs be able to buy a gun? Well, they posed that question after they found out that gun buyers with prior DUI convictions were more than 2.5 times more likely to be arrested later for violent crimes, including using firearms. More than half of people with guns in the home said that they would support preventing DUI offenders from getting a gun. And non-gun owners, well, they agreed only slightly more. Now, there was even less of a difference when asked if they would support a program to turn in high-capacity magazines, no questions asked. Now, this type of data could be used in new legislation in California. Now, they do hope that similar work can be done in other states to come up with opinions on firearm interventions. Well, let's start the news feed. A new study looking at the impact that finances may have on the abortion debate. The National Bureau of Economic Research saying that women who want to get an abortion but are denied could spend years in poverty because of it. That is compared to those who are able to end their pregnancies. Delta giving its employees 2 months of extra pay. The airline had a very good 2019. It's sharing $1.6 billion in profit as a bonus. This is the 6th year in a row that Delta shared profits with its employees. Malaysia saying that it will not be the world's waste bin. The country returned 150 containers of trash sent by other countries. The U.S. is one of them. Unwanted waste has really been sent to Southeast Asia since China banned the import of plastic back in 2018. Let's get back to the lineup. A growing number of businesses want to make sure workers are getting good sleep. We're going to talk about the benefits of this and what you need to consider before opting into sleep tracking.
Promotion for just $259 a month.
Libraries in 2 southern Indiana counties are the latest in the state to stop fining you for overdue items. The Owen County Public Library ended overdue fines on January 1st, and last week the Monroe County Public Library's trustees voted to end overdue fines and cancel patrons' past debt. Both counties had charged 25-cent daily overdue fines, although they had eliminated fines for overdue children's books years ago. In Owen County, revenue from overdue fines totaled about $6,000 a year. Monroe County collected about $79,000 last year.
Companies are trying a new way to tackle productivity by tracking employees' sleep. That includes diagnosing and treating sleep apnea. Researchers at the University of Colorado say that apnea can seriously disrupt sleep, which of course can affect just how good you are at your job during the day.
You could be more likely to be in conflicts with your co-employees and things like that. And certainly you could be more distracted. And so easily that could negatively influence the next day productivity at work.
Lack of sleep can also trigger health problems like high blood sugar and cholesterol levels. Researchers at the University of Minnesota and Harvard looked into truck drivers who were screened and treated for sleep apnea. They found the company saved more than $400 a month in health costs. Well, as more companies get on board with tracking sleep and other health factors, some are raising concerns over privacy. Now, there are proposed bills in California and New York that call for protections, including forbidding employers from requiring workers participate in these type of wellness programs. Researchers say while this tracking may be beneficial, it is important that it remains optional.
Be coming at it just from the perspective of, if the employee opts into it and they, are sort of tracking their sleep with a wearable or something like that, there could be benefits, and maybe there could be general, programs that a company offers to just sort of inform their employees what optimal sleep is and ways to improve their sleep, even if they're not tracking it.
Now, experts at Consumer Reports say if you do decide to opt into one of these programs, you want to ask whether it is covered by HIPAA. That makes your health information private. Also look into whether the program really helps you in the long run. Ahead in our lineup, women veterans face unique challenges easing back into civilian life.
You always have to kind of prove that you are a veteran. I know what I did, and I sleep well at night because of what I did, because I protected this country.
How one veteran is working to get women access to everything from housing to mammograms.
And Keller, right now.
More than 200,000 service members transition out of military service every year. Alicia Nieves found a group working to help women ease back into civilian life.
Be a character in this game for a minute. Roll the dice. Move along the board. When you land on an XP, that's when the game really starts.
The CEO says that you have to sit this mission out.
And you get a glimpse.
You'll be too distracting to the boys, so you get left behind.
Into what it's like for those who serve in the U.S. military. You learn. Some experiences are the same for male and female service members, but some are not.
These are things we actually heard veterans say.
Alexia Cohen and a group of graduate students at the School of Visual Arts partnered with the VA in New York City to create the Military Game of Life. It demonstrates a conclusion the VA came to in 2017, that women veterans face different issues than their male counterparts.
Even though it's a game and it's gameplay, you are empathizing with the woman veteran experience by playing the game, even if you're not playing as the woman, because you clearly see the differences as the game reveals.
Differences someone like Lucy Delgadio can speak to beyond the board game.
I was in the U.S. Army. It meant everything to me. I served for 8 years. I built character, strength. I feel that it made me more resilient.
Delgadio transitioned to civilian life in 1998, and that's when she learned some of the biggest challenges that women service members face.
There wasn't any type of services, anything out there to help me. So I had to really do a lot of learning by myself.
Women typically have less support in the veteran space and struggle to transition at a disproportionately higher rate than their male counterparts. About 67% of them find their financial transition from the military difficult compared to 47% of men. Women veteran homelessness is on the rise while male veteran homelessness is decreasing. And one of the most common differences, women vets often have their service questioned in a way male veterans typically do not.
You always have to kind of prove that you are a veteran. I know what I did, and I sleep well at night because of what I did, because I protected this country.
But things are changing. 6 months ago, Delgadio was able to get her home state of New Jersey to make June 12th Women Veterans Appreciation Day. Delgadio got support from local politicians and her employer, Prudential. With that support, she's working on more change.
I hope to see, more transition housing for women. I hope to see a mammogram in every VA in the country, because there's still a lot of VAs that don't have that type of care.
Delgadio's goal, even the goal of this game, is to raise awareness and change the women veteran experience while not taking away from the challenges their brothers in the service face. I'm Alicia Nieves.
Have you done all of your post-holiday returns by now? Caution, time is running out, and if you bought any items at a kiosk in the mall, it may already be too late. Consumer reporter John Matarese explains so you don't waste your money.
This is the time of year many of us return unwanted gifts to the mall. But if it came from a kiosk in the center of that mall, it may not be so easy, as one woman discovered. Ashley Newberry was shopping before Christmas when she got a pitch from a salesman at this kiosk.
This guy asked me if he could straighten my hair, so I sat down, he straightened my hair, and I'm like, wow, this is wonderful.
So she pulled out her credit card.
He said, buy one, get one free for $200. So I bought myself one, gave the other one to my friend.
But she says this straightening iron that she took home worked nothing like the demo model.
It's just ripping out your hair. It rips it out. And then it's hot to the touch down here where you're supposed to hold it. It's too hot to hold.
She found dozens of similar complaints online from around the country, from other women wondering if the model they bought was the same as the one demonstrated in their mall. Now, if you buy a hair iron at a store like CVS or Walgreens, even Target or Walmart, typically you have 30 days to return it and get your money back. But that's usually not the case at mall kiosks.
And then he removed his jacket to show me this little sign that says no refunds.
So we went to the mall, saw no sign, but the salesman told us the same thing.
Did you get a refund? We do not have a refund on the line itself.
We contacted the manufacturer, which told us Ashley can ship back the iron, saying Eve Electric hair tool products include a complimentary 3-year warranty. If your hair tool ever has any defects, we will replace it. But she would have to pay shipping and get another one, just like the one she has. Eve Electric says the straightening irons women buy are the same ones that are demonstrated in the mall, but this is a warning to always ask questions about returns. You don't waste your money. Working for you, I'm John Matarese for RTV6.
All right, we'll have a few things to iron out in the weather forecast by the end of the week. A little rain, snow mix potentially Friday and Saturday. Otherwise, we're dry until probably late Thursday night. Warming trend, it's underway. We made it into the 20s today. We'll get to freezing tomorrow, and we'll hold off on any wintry mix till probably Thursday night into Friday morning. Temperatures around the region, these feel pretty good. Everything is relative, right? After a day in the teens, just getting temperatures back in the middle to upper 20s feels pretty nice. Let's talk about tomorrow. The change, we should reach the freezing mark, 32. We'll be back to some sunshine. We had the clouds move in here in the second half of the day and may produce a couple of flurries this evening. As you look at Wednesday, temperature's a little bit warmer. We're still dry, mixture of clouds and sunshine. Temperature touches 48 for the high. We'll keep our eye to the west. This is Wednesday night at 11 o'clock. We'll put this in motion, and you can see it's going to take its time pushing to the east, kind of a slow-moving weather system. Still at 1 o'clock on Thursday, you've got some snow along the Mississippi River. Our chances for a wintry mix increase Thursday night into Friday morning. As far as our 4-day forecast, you see where we're headed. Temperatures steadily making progress. We'll peak on Thursday. We're dry during the day. That chance for a rain-snow mix Thursday night, and it continues during the day Friday with a 40-degree high temperature.
Well, this time of year, some people may just feel off, and experts say in certain places, weather's to blame for that. Now, seasonal affective disorder, you may have heard about it. It is a real thing. It's a form of depression. Now, it's less about temperatures, really more about the lack of sunlight. People do tend to oversleep, have appetite changes that could lead to weight gain and low energy. Now, some say today is actually the most depressing day of the year, but psychologists say seasonal depression really hits hard in November. That's around the time that the clocks change. The good news with all of this is there are some simple fixes.
When you get that sunshine, it really gives you a boost in serotonin, and the sun, even a few minutes of it, just elevates mood.
Dr. Kamen says direct sunlight can combat seasonal affective disorder. You can also get phototherapy from special lights that you can pretty much buy anywhere, and exercising outside, that's also great.
You could get into therapy and get cognitive behavioral therapy about, okay, how do I deal with stress? Because it's stressful when you have a mood disorder.
The American Psychiatric Association finds seasonal affective disorder impacts about 10 million people, and it's 4 times more common in women than men. Now, for parents who have a child with autism, connecting with them can be a challenge. A research project using movement like dance as therapy is going on right now, and Maya Rodriguez has how it is showing some promise.
For James Griffin, this afternoon movement class is so much more than a therapy session.
He loves to come. He'll say to me, go dance. You know, he knows it was Mondays and Wednesdays this time. It was go dance.
James is on the autism spectrum and part of a study at the University of Delaware looking at whether dance and other coordinated movements involving yoga and music
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Can help children with autism. Dr. Anjana Bhatt's research involves 40 kids.
What we know is that children with autism have fewer connections between brain areas. Dancers, because they use their whole body, they move through space, they move with others. That promotes connections between multiple brain regions.
The CDC estimates about 1.7% of all children in the U.S. fall somewhere on the autism spectrum. And that number is growing. Back in 2000, 1 out of every 150 children born in the U.S. had autism. As of 2014, the most recent year available, it was 1 out of 59. Dr. Bhatt says her research isn't just about improving brain connections for children with autism, but personal connections as well.
Most importantly, you make friends, because when you dance with others, you make connections with others, and then you develop self-confidence as a dancer, and lastly, you develop a sense of belonging, that you belong to this group.
James's mother, Rachel Ann, says it's a difference she sees in her son.
It makes me cry all the time, just out of happiness. You know, having a child that's kind of locked in his own world all the time, having him come out and show you a little bit of what's going on in his head is, I can't even put a price on it.
A priceless gift from any child. In Newark, Delaware, I'm Maya Rodriguez reporting.
Great stuff, Maya. Thank you. Now, next in our lineup, counterfeit or deadly drugs coming through the mail. It is a huge issue, so we're going to check out a new type of screening technology to better detect drugs in packages.